curves. Just say they switched them.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
And
too,
there
like,
was
did they swap?
nothing about XP, which is what people are fucking pissed about. The level blocks are one thing, but if you're never going to get to level 30 as it is, then I don't see a single thing about changing XP for anything other than switched the XP curves. And charcuterie and tailoring weren't even a fucking issue.
Well, maybe not to you.
Well, I mean, reading through all the comments on the fucking, like, the feedback post.
People are wondering why there was time devoted to that.
Well, no, just like everyone's having issues with XP on alchemy and like blacksmithing and weapons, like everything other than carpentry. But I didn't see anything about charcuterie or well, actually, there was tailoring. Level 14 to 15 was like stupid. It was like 4,000 bone fragments, and it's like you get like 3 from killing a boar. That's unfortunate. Dude, if there's no changes to XP, I will not be playing. Let's go look through over here, dude. Wait. Oh, something else we can look through. The announcements section. They are integrating Discord into the game, dude. So now there's proximity chat starting tomorrow.
In the game?
Yeah.
How are they doing proximity chat?
Let's see here. What's new? We completely replaced the underlying systems. The chat and pack stage should look very familiar at a first glance because they're integrating it with Discord. Proximity chat, direct messages, party chat, clan chat. It's all there.
This is all text.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like...
Well, I don't know. Because they talk about zone chat where you can communicate with all players in a zone.
I think that's
friends
just
list, online presence, block and mute.
Like a switch. Like in most MMOs where it's like, okay, you have your clan chat, you have your zone chat. I think that's going to be what that is.
But proximity...
Well, that's the thing, is that I don't understand if it's not voice, then text-based proximity chat is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's what they had have right now. Oh shit, I'm so sorry. They likely had plans to use Silver's first suppressors, but never got to it. Yeah, dude. Absolutely. Prevent team killing PvP, probably. Do you want to cast X? In the off chance for AoE spell is fat fingered. Oh, gotcha. That makes sense. Maybe the XP curves are where they want them to unlock levels are probably where the balancing will be focused next. I don't think so, dude. The XP is so fucked right now. Like, I mean, it's not even like it's like needs balanced. It needs completely redone. Completely
I think one of the
redone.
problems that they have is that given their player count, if they really want to like test their systems, they need to make it so that in earlier versions of this game, people progress at a probably an accelerated rate. Because
yeah, I've thought that since day one, and then they fucked it even harder with that fucking hotfix. Because, well, it's not even the unlock levels are too high. It literally, like, you don't get enough XP. Like, even if they gave you every unlock at level 1, if you were to create the highest craft at level 1, so for glass, and, like, I can go find comments, dude, where people have actually done the math. So you need a crazy amount of glass to make vials for alchemy. So you have to gather sand, which is only 20 per stack. Anyway, right now with the current system, if you were to start fresh, level 1 to 40 would take 26,000 hours to be able to just make enough glass. That's not doing the actual alchemy crafting. That's not gathering the sand. That's nothing. Years of hours of like nonstop. If you were awake 24/7 every day for fucking years, making sure that on the hour you would hit fucking start on more glass, it would take years of hours. Just level 38 to 39 is 1,700 hours if you're only using one furnace. And furnace is the big fucker, not the little things that you can smelt iron, but the big brick ones with the bellows and shit. Like, most people aren't going to build fucking 10 of those because that would take up like 3 fucking plots. I mean, not really, but probably like it would definitely take over one whole plot just for like 10 of those. So it's like not, unless you're in a huge clan, it's like not realistic to build 10 of those. Most people only run in 1 or 2, maybe 3. But it's still, at 10 of them is almost 200 hours to get enough glass. It's fucking crazy. And they changed the XP numbers on everything, and it upped the amount of crafts you needed by like over double. Before it was like, you know, these guys were busting out these numbers like it's about 233 crafts before to get from level 35 to 36 in blacksmithing, and now it's almost 740 crafts. So literally like, what is that, 3 times as much? They fucked it so hard, dude. I kind of agree with Nev, dude. I think they forgot a decimal somewhere. Like,
probably. Well, I mean, I think part of this too is, once again, like, I think that there is a fundamental problem with part of their vision here, which is to say that you cannot. I don't think that you're going to find a player base of people that's large enough where you know, it's kind of like, how do I put this? It's like when you're in a band or when you're in the mafia. It's very hard to convince people that they should spend their time being a role player.
Oh yeah. Oh
and
god,
it's
yeah.
Like, and by role player, that's not to say that it's like, well, it's a role playing game. My point is that it's like, if you expect people to pour that amount of time into the game as a dedicated chef, as a stonemason,
right?
It's a great set of ideas, but I think that the problem is that I don't think that it scales. I don't think that you can scale that up where because you're sort of asking part of your player base to not interact with a great huge deal of the game.
Oh yeah,
with
yeah,
the,
it's
with
fucking
the rest
crazy.
Of the world with it's So in my opinion, it would be
well, especially because they borked their, like, don't get me wrong, like, they've been very open from the start about it being very early and all that jazz, but it's like, dude, this, I don't even think that counted as very, nothing changed from the very first alpha to now, which is literally 16 months or some shit, whatever me and Nev figured it was like a year and a half. And it's like, it was bad enough that, like, you got a shit ton of negative reviews, you lost all your fucking players. Like, I'm not even going to say I'm not even going to say most of your players. I'm going to say that when it fucking launched into early access and I saw there was like 13,000 people or whatever the fuck playing, and don't get me wrong, that's just Steam numbers, like the 9,000 it had for like the first 2 months average. So however many people were on their launcher as well, which is probably over half, if we're being honest. But still, I mean, there's times throughout the night where you can go and there's not a single person on Steam playing. It's like you've lost your entire. There's 660 people in game right now.
Well, this is the problem.
That's not enough to run a fucking social sandbox MMO.
Well, yeah. Well, this is part of the issue with some of their methodology here is that getting the game. I don't give a shit if technically it's being released into early access.
Right.
It's still a launch.
Right.
It's
100%.
And
100%.
that's how people remember your fucking game. And it's like there's most early access titles that wind up doing well. There was how do I put this? They're not as complicated. They're not as ambitious a lot of the time. You know, this is closer to a Star Citizen situation. I'm not saying that it is one, but it's closer to that than it is to a Risk of Rain 2 or some of these other really popular early access titles. But the thing about the early access thing is that I watched a video from Pirate Software that was kind of eye-opening. The rate of success among early access and they're often not listed as being early access, but they in effect kind of are, where they will, let's say that they do a soft launch on Epic right? So they launch the game on Epic before it comes to Steam. People generally freak out, but Epic gives them a bunch of money up front to in order to do that. So that 6 month to a year of exclusivity, they get a bunch of money to put straight into the funding of furthering develop the game before it goes out onto Steam.
Right.
And then when you have a launch onto Steam, when you were Epic exclusive, it generally drives a lot more traffic to the game because that's the platform that most people use. The issue with what PAX Day did is that they just patently they just fucking weren't ready. They literally just weren't ready.
Yeah,
it would have been better if they did exactly what they did, but they didn't put the game on Steam. If they used their own launcher, did exactly as they did, but they didn't advertise it on Steam because now all of those reviews and that reputation is there. And yeah, maybe they'll No Man's Sky it, but I
can hope. But
I think it was a short-sighted move, and I get why they did it from a fiscal standpoint. I don't think that the method was the right method.
Right.
At all.
So I just watched their little fucking video, dude. This is actually cool as shit.
Oh, the chat?
Yeah. It literally shows up. So if you type, like, it shows up as a Discord chat on your phone, and it puts it in game.
That's shit.
That's cool as fuck, dude.
Yeah, I've never seen a game do that before.
This is apparently a new thing that let's see. Oh, it's purely an opt-in basis. That's cool. Yeah, this is just like this is all very new. Proud to be one of the first or one of the early partners testing the new possibilities. So it is a new thing even for Discord. That's cool as fuck. There should be selected professions where at character creation you choose up to 2 skills to earn 2x XP. Yeah, oh, dude. That would be huge. That would be fucking huge.
It would make professions viable.
Yes.
Or at least more viable.
Yeah. It's like, dude, they have so many fucking solo players now because of all the people that quit that it's like, they can't, like, I get it. Like, I get what they're wanting to do, and I would love for it to actually work out. But, like, it's been borked, dude. And there's, like, I've ran around and tried talking to a lot of these solo players, and no one wants to group up. It's like, it's
another thing
fucking
too,
rough.
That is worth considering is the, how do I put this? If you had double XP professions on character creation, and you were a solo player that wanted to join a clan, potentially, you could theoretically have like a selling point by which you could like pitch yourself to a clan. Because as it stands, I mean, you can hand out your levels, but if we can see that like, oh, like you specialize in these things, it allows you to I don't know, I guess just vet people in a different way.
Right.
Because yeah, like I said, it's like, how do you expect people to fucking get into a clan on a game that is this size and fucking just be a chef that is a regular chef?
Right.
Once again, like I get it if they're able to, if they have enough time to also explore the fucking world that they're in, but if they don't have that time, I don't blame them for not playing the goddamn game. It's too much of it's a case of like, it's too idealistic of a concept to work perfectly without any modification. Whether it's double XP for professions, or what I would prefer would be a fucking Terraria system where you just get a fucking NPC to do it.
Yeah.
But that's what I would do.
As someone who's played World of Warcraft from vanilla, who's taken part in a bunch of other MMOs like Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy 15, stuff like that, they have the basis for a really interesting MMO.
Right. Absolutely, dude.
That's what bums me out the most about this.
The XP curves, I think, on paper, it's so that people begin to specialize in the things that they want to do, because it's too broad to do everything at once, and it's supposed to promote collaboration. If I want to level, for example, leatherworking, I'm going to have to get in contact with a tailor to give me certain materials. I can't level both at the same time because it's too much XP required.
And time, which is, I think it's and that is what XP is equivalent to, obviously, is time.
I think the curves are tuned in I'm trying to get in their headspace here so that players collaborate more. However, there's no other mechanics that are guiding the player to that route.
Right.
You just jump in and you're supposed to deal with everything.
Basis for a cool game and fucked up execution is kind of par for the course. Yeah, dude.
If they had just been like, hey, choose what kind of player you want to be. You want to be, carpenter, so you get bonus XP in woodcutting and carpentry. You want to be tailor, so you get bonuses in this stuff. It guides the players towards, oh, okay, I have a role, and other players can fill in the other roles I need.
I think that the only problem, you need the players.
Yeah.
And that's where my
Exactly,
issues
kind of
with the
screwed themselves over.
launch and
Yeah.
their methodology with the
Had they
launch
done
come in.
something like what Once Human did, where the alpha and beta were off of major platforms, invite only via Discord.
Yeah.
Agreed,
And had they just
100%. I
gotten
would have.
perfectly
I think.
fine-tuned.
Well, and also if
then-
you had a paid alpha, because that's what this is. They just have
100%.
And that's part of
mean,
the thing is it's
entirely.
like, okay, you want to be transparent. Be transparent then. You don't tell me this is the beta, because if it is, you're in some deep shit.
No, yeah, this is alpha at best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
Game could have been
bunch
cool,
of
but a
game
fucking social
manipulation
game up front
tools.
is gonna end up screwing it. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I really feel
some
like
terrain
it's
manipulation
not going the
tools
way
would
they
go
wanted.
A long way for the building community, folks like Richard. Just give us some shovels to do some basic terrain manipulation. You can set max heights, max depths, whatever. Okay, but just allow the builders to build.
I would
Because they're going to be
say
your primary player base.
I would say that's great if it maintains the frame rate consistency
Yeah.
when you're approaching structures. If they can't implement terrain manipulation while maintaining because the quality they have right now is unreal when you're around structures. There's like no change in
Well,
frame rate, at least on my system.
Here's when it comes down to an engine limitation.
Yeah. That's the big thing.
It's
Unreal
it would
is
be a
not
matter of,
great with fucking terrain
would it
manipulation.
compromise the quality of the final product? Because
You can
undoubtedly
get the
it would
same
be.
quality, and I hate to put it because Unity's done some really dumb decisions in the past, but Unity's engine has it can support the graphical fidelity of Unreal while still maintaining some back-end structures that will allow terrain manipulation to go smoothly.
Yeah. I don't understand how Unity has had voxels built in forever and Unreal still doesn't. There's plugins to get it to work, but it's like I don't know how it would handle it with a bunch of people doing it.
Yeah, that's the main thing is, well, I mean, it's kind of like in a different way, but No Man's Sky struggled with this. Like, I'm sure you remember when, like,
Yeah.
I had that one base on
Desyncing issues all over
yeah,
the
with
place.
desyncing problems, and then
So many
land
games that are more
obviously
complete I
coming
can
back,
build it. Yeah, dude.
and it was just that there were a lot of issues with implementation. I do think it would be nice, but I also think like the fact that the game runs so well in those heavily built areas is part of why it feels like it's part of what bums me out to a degree, because it helps make it feel like, oh, this is such a good proof of concept, dude.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we could build a fucking
yeah.
village here, and
If-
like it would work. Like it's incredible. We've never had a
without
game.
a shadow of the doubt, had the devs not released this game at all and just taken the code base that they have and the alpha that they have right now and went to Epic, like, hey, here's a pitch for a title, they would have had fucking money up front to make it even fucking
Oh
better.
god, yeah.
Oh
They
yeah.
would have signed them. They would have signed them immediately.
But they definitely, they definitely wanted, and I get this vibe from the developers that it's like they don't want their vision impacted by
Right.
a large
That's-
studio,
Right.
that's
which
the
this
thing.
is part of the issue, right?
With
Is that
Epic, their indie program doesn't mar the vision. It's like, hey, we'll take your estimated sales, pay it out up front, let you develop the game further, and just release the first year on our platform. That's it.
which, yeah, that's kind
Pretty
of what I was talking
Minecraft is
about
supposed to be
earlier.
so
was
much
that
more. Yeah, dude.
games,
It's literally
whether or not they
Animal
call it an
Crossing.
early access, a lot of the time they do that soft launch onto Epic because of the money that they get up front. Thor talked about it in a video. It's a great strategy. People hate it because like, oh, Epic exclusive yawn, but it's like when it launches on Steam, games always see more traffic when they launch on Steam, even if they've been on Epic. And then 2, they get all that money, and it's a lot easier for them. It's a lot less stressful for them to just take the time
Getting
to
that
make
Epic
the shit.
bag is amazing for indie developers because of the money up front.
And I think
Oh,
they would
thank
probably have
fuck.
surprised Epic too with
Okay,
what
I
they've
should have
done.
checked the server status. I don't know why it's posted in the server status and not in announcements. That makes no fucking sense. PAX Day patch notes for tomorrow have been updated, and then it says, note that an additional patch is planned for this week with more fixes.
Okay.
So hopefully that's the
Split it up into
XP
2.
shit, dude. Maybe they just needed a little more time to kind of balance shit. And so it's not in tomorrow's patch, but maybe in a few days.
Tomorrow's patch is the stuff that was ready to ship.
Well, exactly,
Before
yeah.
they had all the feedback from XP.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we need to work on more shit, but this stuff all ready to ship.
Yeah. Let's hope, dude. If they do some fucking XP fixing, dude, I will be back and spend more time in the game. But
the curves
fuck.
feel overtuned.
Oh,
Now that
beyond,
you explained
dude.
it,
Beyond. It's fucking crazy. I'm not joking. I got on, and before I knew that they had changed all the XP requirements, dude, I was churning out a bunch of spears, and I think I made, I don't remember how many I made, I want to say 80 plus, 80 to 90, somewhere in there, and it got me like a quarter of a level at level 13. I was like, what the fuck?
I was showing a buddy of mine, an IRL buddy of mine, your building. And the he's in the Discord, and he saw that I was like, this would have taken weeks if we had started from complete scratch and didn't get the resources back. And he was like, weeks? And he was kind of like, no, you're joking, you're just lazy. And it's like, no, you literally don't understand. We're talking weeks here to get that fucking thing built. It's difficult to convince players, because I feel like we're existing in a time where gaming has become, in an interesting way, almost less social than it used to be.
Right.
It's like, obviously there's more social options. You can play esports, you can do MOBAs,
social games are seen as casual nowadays.
Well, and they, there's this kind of initiative or instinct to protect the gamer. And it's one of the reasons why it's like MMOs are one of the last bastions of long form engagement with other people that maintains consistency. So like, for instance, in Halo, like when we were growing up, you'd hop onto Xbox Live, you'd boot into a game of Halo 2 or 3, and you'd matchmake into a lobby, and then you were with those dudes for as long as they were in there, or for as long as that lobby existed. Like, you wouldn't have to re-matchmake every time. And it's like, well, why would they switch to a system like that? And I think that social gaming developed a bit of a reputation because of like unmitigated crazy bullshit in Call of Duty and Halo and things like that. And it's like, I think that to a degree, developers have gone out of their way to put these sort of not unnecessary protections in place for people. I mean, I hate to be that guy, because I'm gonna sound like a fucking boomer here. No. The mute button is there for a fucking reason.
Oh yeah,
dude.
no,
like,
100%.
It's
at the same time, someone who's lived through OG Modern Warfare 2 lobbies.
Oh yeah,
I can see why.
Like, I get why they did it from a business perspective. It's like they don't want that reputation.
I get it. Even though I don't like it, I get it.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. Like PAX Day, I think, I don't know if it's the gold. It's certainly not the golden age of MMOs right now.
No.
It's a weird time. I feel like the 2000s were kind of their peak.
World of Warcraft is having a renaissance with a lot of the creative team back, the old school creative team. The problem children are out of the company. So at least there's some hope out there.
Well, it seemed like it was a good, just because of how fresh. I mean, it's not a typical MMO, which I think a lot of people were like hopeful for, but
Well, I'll tell you one thing is that the thing that I think that was their best selling point, and I understand if they might disagree. I'm sure that in their opinion, it's the whole social world and this
what
thing they've
PAX
built.
Day feels
Dude,
like?
the idea of their combat being similar to like a new world, or not necessarily not similar to a new world
It feels
necessarily.
like New World, but less polished.
Oh yeah, well
Yeah.
it feels like stock Unreal movements.
oh,
that
dude, it's
just
their combat's terrible. It's
and
so
that
fucking
to
bad.
me was personally as a guy that really wants to like MMOs, that is the selling point.
Yeah.
If you can nail
Now,
down combat that is actiony
I see a
and
problem
dynamic.
that may show up tomorrow. You know how New World didn't sanitize their chat bot, their chat system, and allow people to post images? Discord can embed images, and they're using Discord's API to power chat.
Images in PAX Day's
Dude,
chat.
that'd be fucking sweet, dude.
Fucking
So
hilarious.
If I
might
can
be just
send-
dicks showing up in zone chat.
Hell yeah, dude. If I could send some short vids to the boys in game.
Yeah, but just imagine zone chat just now flooded with. You might have to turn it off to stream.
All 3 people in zone, dude.
You know, some players will come back just to troll that
Fuck,
shit.
dude. I hope. God damn it. I don't know, dude. I just. Don't get me wrong, dude. This patch, especially if that second patch has a bunch of shit too, not bad. Especially because I like a lot of this stuff is direct player feedback, and this is the first time where I feel like they've actually taken, like, listened.
It would be funny though. It would be funny.
Oh, it'd be hilarious, dude. I'd love it.
Richard's gonna
That'd be
start
great.
making Lenny's, dude, and fucking sending
Oh,
him to everybody
hell
in the
yeah,
zone.
dude.
Here's the thing, Nev. Remember, Discord API.
And these
It
guys
doesn't
fucking
take
suck.
much to
That was my main
Hide-
thing. Is like
hide a
that
link?
sounds like an oversight these devs might make.
Yeah,
If-
100%, dude.
Um,
100%.
Yeah.
It would be a hilarious oversight. Think about they could even do it on purpose, and I would understand it. Just like imagine the fucking articles, Tech Radar. Hey, PAX Day, you can send dick pics in PAX Day, dude. Yeah. There'd be people that are like, dude, an MMO where I can send nudes, an MMO where I can fucking send Richard
it's
pictures of
just-
Stalin while he streams, dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
The Discord Markdown stuff is going to be where
Ah,
the
Billy's playing
problems will be.
Flight Simulator. Fuck.
What a penis, dude.
Hell yeah, I'm
What a-
ending
what
that,
a
dude.
blogs
What the
you can